The quarterfinals have finally started, and we have Dignitas versus NaVi. We were hyped, we were excited, we were psyched about this game, and I am totally on the hype train here. Sky Temple is going to be the map. It's a best-of-3 series played at the Blizzard Championship qualifier, and we have, again, an immediate ban on Thrall. Dignitas versus NaVi. One of these two teams will advance to the semi-finals to get a shot of qualifying for Katowice already. I'm Khaldor, with me is Tetcher, and we're going to bring you the coverage here, and first of all, the draft for game number 1 between Dignitas and NaVi. Well, then maybe Tetcher is not with me. Maybe he's eating right now. I don't care.
No, I
because
hit the wrong button.
I don't care because I am calling that Kalthas ban right now. Now you can say something.
Okay, so the Kalthas has been banned. We were talking before the draft about how much priority these two teams could be putting on the Stitches, because we know both of them do play it, and it works on pretty much every map. Team Dignitas, starting with the Zagara, though. They really want the control in that bottom lane. And at least to take that away from NaVi. So NaVi, good chance they could maybe pick up Zeratul in their first 2 picks here.
It's actually kind of interesting to see how the drafting currently develops, because this is one of the things that happens in the North American scene a lot. And Europe, until the patch, prioritized the bans and picks a little bit different than NA. But right now, that early Zagara is very reminiscent of what you see on the North American scene. And NaVi is countering now with a move that we've already seen earlier today by Google. They go into a Sonya plus Mirrodin, and that threatens a Jaina later on for follow-up damage. It threatens a Tyrande. So there's a couple of heroes that with such a simple pick, they immediately put out there for Dignitas to potentially pick away or ban, because Dignitas will feel threatened about this at this point. They have to think about the Jaina, picking her away now, or the Tyrande. They go for Tyrande first. They can still take Jaina if they want to, as the follow-up, and they do that. More and, of course, stun follow-up. I'm liking this draft already. Oh god, we're going to have so much fun with this game. That's going to be great.
We've seen some great Moors earlier today combined with the Jaina damage follow-up to just annihilate people when they come out. There's the ETC ban, another hero who could have comboed very well with this. And Dignitas, they may still ban out the Uther, even though the ETC is already banned out, but they ban out the Tassadar because they do not want that creep being denied.
Tassadar taken away here from NaVi. Of course, that's also for the creep deny, as you already said. It's also that shield support that we get for Sonya, which is incredibly powerful, especially if you go for the sustained talents on Sonya yourself, like Ferocious Healing, for example. And this is one of the things that NaVi has to deal with right now. NaVi actually in a position where they could go even into more melee heroes, but they need still a bit of range damage. And at this point on Sky Temple, you think about a Falstad, you think about a Reyna, you can think about also, of course, heading just simply into a Vala if you want to get that Temple damage in. But it's Falstad first of all, the mobility on the map, the split soak experience that you can gather for your team before you join a team fight, Mighty Gust, a powerful tool, and the Sylvanas for the pressure play. So we already have them with 2 damage dealers, range damage dealers, frontline. They still need their support, but now it's time for Dignitas to complete their setup.
Yeah, Dignitas, they, however, have a hell of a setup for a Stitches comp here, with the follow-up stun from the Tyrande and that huge burst damage from Jaina. Even the focus from Zagara, if they were to throw in a Stitches and then someone else with another stun, that would be pretty damn powerful for them.
Yeah, a Johanna would be the alternative if you don't want to be the one that engages with a hook, but you are trying to have that solid front line here. With Tyrande, they can run her as a solo support. They can also, of course, run this in addition to whatever hero they pick for the front line, maybe even running a Tyrael here. First of all, it is that Stitches that we've seen so much today already. The follow-up is definitely there, as Tetcher already explained. Stitches hook into Tyrande stun, into Jaina damage. The only question really is, what's going to be the last pick? And they have a lot of ways how they can draft this right now. They could even head into a Brightwing if they want to counteract a bit the global presence of Falstad. It is a bit unlikely, but it is an option. We could see everything ranging from a damage Karazim to a Tyrael and even to a Leoric. So the setup that they have here is incredibly flexible.
Now you mentioned damage Karazim, I really like that, because they already have a healer and they would deny it from NaVi, still get the follow-up damage. Would be really cool.
I mean, it's still, of course, the Uther that NaVi can threaten here. Karazim is great. Uther has the Divine Shield. It's a couple of things that really, yeah, you have going for both of these heroes. But Dignitas has such a flexible draft right now that they can go into any range of heroes here, into any additional role. And this is just like the amazing versatility of this. I would still like a melee hero there, one way or another, since Stitches alone as the solo frontliner needs a lot more support than only Tyrande. So either you go into Karazim and spec him with a bit of damage, or you spec Tyrande with damage. But they go into the Johanna as an addition. They go for the full heavy front line here, not even just like throwing in, for example, Tyrael for Sanctification or anything along those lines, but instead a Johanna with the potential to go into Eternal Retaliation, and also, of course, having just like the additional stun with a blessed shield that you can use if Stitches is successfully hooking a target.
Yeah, and also we need to talk about the Condemn into the Maw. They have a lot of potential combos ready to be set up. NaVi, they now need their support. Uther and Karazim definitely the highest on the cards at the moment, due to the fact they need to protect that Sonya when she does go in very deep.
Personally, I would like Karazim over Uther in this case, and they pick him as well. The reason is actually quite simple. Uther gives the Divine Shield, but Karazim is a bit more mobile in the way that he acts on the map. He has the Relentless on level 13, which is going to help him against the stuns, and he also has the dash that allows him to escape once that he's hooked. So Karazim, I agree with the decision here completely. Great choice by NaVi. Good lineups for both of the teams, and we're going to head into Sky Temple as the first map of the final best of 3 series of the day here to find out which team is going to advance to the semifinals. Game number 1, everybody, is starting, and we have our first match in the quarterfinal at the Bliss Heroes Championship qualifier. To the left side of the map, as you can see now, we have Dignitas. For the first time on stream today, Bakery is playing Tyrande for the team as a support, and we have Yosokid on Jaina, Zarmani on Johanna, Vubi on Zagara, and JPL on Stitches. The new Dignitas lineup, they have to prove themselves here today, and they go up against none other than NaVi. To the right side of the map on Sky Temple, Crosby on Sylvanas, Grandpa Keta on Karazim, Alex the Frog on Muradin. We have Mena on Falstad, and Sonya, played by Eternal. I'm Khaldor, with me is Tetcher, and we're going to bring you the coverage here at the quarterfinal of the Bliss Heroes Championship qualifier.
Yeah, indeed. And right now, Shrine, the Watchtower, already going over to NaVi. Dignitas not willing to contest that. So they're just grouping up, looking for hooks to see if anyone was waiting to try and ambush them. Not able to grab anything yet. The lanes have already been split up. Zagara already spreading her creep in the bottom lane.
Zagara at the bot lane, and we have an owl build for Tyrande. Stitches in play once again, this time with Hungry for More. We've seen him with a few adjustments earlier with a heavy slam on level 1 depending on the map that is being played. On Sky Temple, on the other hand, it makes a lot of sense to not go for the AoE damage here, so instead just trying to establish that heavy hit point pool on Stitches as one of the frontliners. Johanna, of course, is going to help with that quite a bit too. We have an adjustment on level 1 also for Sylvanas, who went straight into the cooldown reduction on the Shadow Dagger, running hit here with a Lost Soul, which is also great talent once that you have the Cold Embrace on level 16. Good synergy between the talents here, not running it with the range increase or the extra damage against minions and mercenaries.
Yeah, and this could be quite nice in the late game, especially since they are up against the double tank. So having that lower cooldown on a vulnerable, like you said, that synergy with level 16 is going to be a pretty huge deal here. First Temple starting up. Looks like Falstad may come up to contest this. And yeah, he's going to fly up, leaving Zagara alone in the bot lane to put the pressure on. Alex already taking control of the mid temple, but Jay just going to harass him a little.
Very risky play to leave Zagara alone. Wubi at the bot lane, of course, is going to attempt to turn a few of those structures to dust. And in the mid lane, JPL, Bakery, and Jaina are still attempting to get a few shots off this temple. There's the hook and the lockdown against Sonya. Eternal gets away by attacking one of the minions, but he's slammed into the ground regardless.
Yeah, the 3 Guardians were just like, how dare you use us? And they decide to finish him off. And looks like Dignitas are going to try and raid this mid temple and get it. But the top one has been going over to NaVi all of this time. Wubby as well, getting a huge amount of pressure on the bot lane. So both teams actually coming out fairly even here.
Fairly even in experience, but those structures at the bot lane are very important for another reason. They protect this well, and once that the bottom temple is activated, the well is becoming incredibly important, since it is the only way for the team to move back, not go back to the Nexus, but just to the well, get hit points and mana back, and then join the fight for the bottom shots again. So they have to protect it, and that's what they're currently trying to do.
Crosby, Bakery going very deep onto that, looking to maybe try and get the kill, but didn't have any of his cooldowns up. He has got into the Pierce on his level 4, as level 4s have been hit for both teams in Venom on that Sylvanas, and we see Laws of Hope on the Johanna Stitches with Amplified Healing.
We have Needle Spines, of course, or Envenomed, in this case Envenomed Spines taken. We're seeing Amplified Healing on Stitches, as already mentioned. It's a great talent for him to take as well. And besides that, we have, of course, that auto-attack build for Falstad, starting things off with the Seasoned Marksman, going straight on level 4 into the Power Throw and Secret Weapon, then as the level 7 choice for him. Strong talents here, both of the teams still a bit cautious. 1 kill only so far in the hands of Dignitas. They were able to take down that Sonya a bit earlier, and the teams are both aiming now into level 7, trying to also then take those bruiser camps to the left and right side of the map before the temple at the bot lane spawns.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Dignitas are going to be starting their bruiser camp yet, finally moving their way up there. Whereas NaVi started theirs quite a while ago. They will try and time it more than likely, though, with the spawning of that temple. Whereas Wobby continuing to put on the pressure, and currently no extra reinforcements coming down to help deal with that. We're now seeing Muradin and Karazim on their way down, but not before the Giants have already done some work.
Once again, as a level 7 talent on Stitches, it is last bite that has been taken here. For Alex, the approach leads more or less his standard talent on the hero. In this case, of course, he's playing Muradin, but Dignitas is agreeing with the talent choice here and switched over from Tenderizer, which for the longest time has been the only talent to take on Stitches. We still see the talent around, but there's definitely a few different styles of the way you play Stitches now. Another thing that I want to point out real quickly is that we have a massive cooldown reduction build on Bakery's Tyrande, trying to get the extra heals now in with a cooldown reduction on Empower and also Battle Momentum. And Tyrande in general was a bit changed by Blizzard in the patch, of course. Now her normal healing does a bit more, but Overflowing Light Guts a bit moved down a bit, and also the ticks that we see on Shadowstalk for healing power have been reduced. So overall the hero is a bit weaker than before, but still absolutely viable, which we also see in this game.
Yeah, that Shadowstalk cooldown was also increased quite a bit, so I do like the idea that he is going for this mass cooldown reduction build, so just very much focusing on that heroic Alex, taking the safe jump out so that he does not get caught out, and Dignitas taking this over. They've already killed off the fountain, and because of that, there's not a huge amount NaVi can do, and you already see him splitting off back into lanes.
Yeah, they are so experienced on all of the lanes right now. They know it perfectly well that they have no way to actually contesting this successfully at the bot lane. NaVi on level 9, Dignitas as well, structures falling throughout the map, Grand Paquette moving in up to the top. They're already, they're about to eliminate one of the forts here. It's on half HP. But we have now NaVi actually starting to rotate top, and Dignitas meeting their rotation. The bot lane, that's still where Zagara is, of course, trying to push things in a bit more. And we have Muradin in the spot as well. Good creep spread here also for Wooby, making sure that he has full vision over the boss area. And the level 10 is hitting way earlier here for Dignitas now.
Yeah, we're seeing the Shadowstalk, Ring of Frost, Bless Shield, the Devouring Maw, and the Putrid Vial coming in for Dignitas, and they're using their level 10 advantage to push into the middle lane fort, and they will be able to pick this up before there is anything that NaVi can do about it.
Yeah, Grand Paquette waiting in the bush. The fort is falling, and at the top lane, Mane secures himself some Seasoned Marksman stacks and also pushes this lane back. We have Mighty Gust now used. There's the Divine Palm, fight in the middle. Falstad starting to fly in. Etherna with the Wrath of the Berserker going straight for Bakery. They're trying to get him. Mighty Gust has been used. They're trying to isolate Stitches and also Zagara. Alex is on it, and Wooby is about to fall. They can't secure the kill though, and also Jaina low. Alex has to jump away. Wooby is alive. How on earth did he not die?
That cooldown reduction that Bakery is running here, he was just able to auto the Muradin and get his heal off cooldown again to heal Wobby just in time. Very well played by Dignitas to keep everyone alive, and NaVi responding in kind, and no deaths in that team fight.
Yeah, not a single kill, and it looked really like two of the heroes would fall. First it was Bakery, he was pressured a lot, Tyrande escaping though, and then the focus on Zagara. You could even argue that with a bit of better communication, they would have at least been able to take one of these two heroes down, if not both.
Yeah, maybe, but unfortunately it was not to be. So NaVi just regrouping. They've got that siege tank up at the bot lane. They're not ready to push with it because there's no fountain for them. So if they were to take some damage, it would be a bit risky for them to be in that bot lane where they'd have to run a long way to get somewhere safe. Instead, they're rotating up as 5 to the top lane to harass that first, and can then move down to the middle lane temple.
They already secured vision. They have Sylvanas, always important when you push a lane. And of course, Harmony is already on the job, starting to move in here now too. Eternal is actually pushed away there. For now, it's actually looking pretty solid here. Once again, for Dignitas, securing the shots in the middle is NaVi, though. They are trying to close that small gap in experience that we have between the two teams. But Zagara is holding the bot lane temple.
Yeah, she's holding that quite nicely, and she's going to be able to get most of the shots. There is the hook onto Muradin, and he bites the dust. Grand Paquette trying the best he can to keep him alive, but it was not enough. And as such, NaVi will have to pull back again, and Dignitas taking control of the mid-temple too, and they've already... Although most of the shots were taken by NaVi, that's still shots that NaVi really needed going onto their top fort, and down it goes thanks to the double temple shots.
Yeah, and Grand Paquette a bit too late to apply the Divine Palm and save Muradin. A bit unfortunate for them here. They are now also talent behind as Overflowing Light has been chosen by Tyrande. As already said, it has been decreased a little bit in healing power. It's 30% now instead of the 35% in the last patch. We have improved Ice Block for Jaina, Burning Rage for Johanna, Shadowstorm talk used. They're starting to move in. Alex is in trouble a bit. The hook already out, but not landing on any target. Mutalisk and Relentless now chosen for Stitches, and Zagara and Dignitas is moving in with the advantage that they have.
Yeah, they're pushing this as aggressively as they can. Muradin trying his best to just delay this with the reverberation that he did take. And Eternal able to clear out most of that top lane, so that's not as much pressure as they were currently under.
Falstad at the bot lane is flying in now, just passing by here. Of course, they were trying to soak as much experience as they can on the other lanes here. In the meantime, we have Zarmany moving down to the bottom, trying to push this back as well. They have very good vision still, thanks to Zagara and the creep tumors. Level 13 will be ready then again, on the other hand, very soon also for Navi. And they double check again. You can always see on the minimap how Alex moves in towards the boss just to check what's going on here. He walks into the bush, just looks around the corner saying like, alright, are you guys trying to go for boss? Where are you right now? He knows that he can jump away if they're trying to chase him. In this case, super important to make sure that the boss is not captured by Dignitas.
Absolutely, they need to protect this as much as they can, because if Dignitas do get that boss, then Na'Vi are just going to have an incredibly hard time defending it because of reasons like that. They could get hooked in and be put at risk. Alex is Muradin, though he's able to jump out, but not everyone on the team would be so lucky.
Adjustments on the build. So now we have on level 13 a double spell shield already taken. In the case of Sonya, she did not go into Mystical Spear, and Sylvanas also chose a spell shield because they both were saying we need that to survive these sniper comps. At the same time, we have Muradin going into the Burning Rage, making sure that he has an option to take down all those creep tumors on the map. It's still a 1.5 level lead that we have for Dignitas, and Navi currently with level 13 talents as the temple up at the top lane is being announced, and of course they're going to try to get a few of these shots, but they're splitting on the map. They're double checking again what's happening at the boss. The owls all over the place, making sure that they also, of course, tell about the position that Navi has taken.
Yeah, but Navi just playing so defensively right now. JPL, he just sort of walked into everyone there, takes so much damage, gets healed by Bakery, though the Mighty Gust pushing him away, so he's actually able to disengage quite nicely here. The Future Bard doing a lot of damage to Alex. The Palm will get popped by the Bile, and the more zones a lot of people have. Ring of Frost catches, no one was very close though.
That was a 4 versus 5 that they fought. Johanna is still up at the top and is securing those shots. They have level 16 now. Continuing with the Owl build, level 16 Ranger, Numbing Blast taken, the Fishing Hook, Brood expansion. Like, this is a disaster for Navi in this first game. They were not able to win that 4 versus 5 situation. At the beginning, they were not really in a position to dominate the fight with the hero more. They had to rotate in with the team, but even as they did, they were not able to get a kill, and they lost the entire temple in the meantime.
Yeah, they're not able to get the mercenaries for this one. Instead, they not able to get a hero in that one. Instead, they hook in the mercenary and decide to steal it instead. Able to move back in, and Dignitas just taking everything right now. The hook's getting so close to catching people, and when they do, then, well, Navi's gonna have, well, no chance really. Muradin's the only one who can really escape these.
Incredible to actually see Dignitas being this strong right now. I did not expect that going into the game. I thought it would be much closer here, but for now we have 2 kills against 0. Not many kills in this game so far, but very nice rotations on the map, and this creep spread by Wooby once again incredible. They are starting to go in for the keep. Mane pushes them back, at least for now, buying a bit of more time for his team. Zarmany at the front with a Night Take spawn, pushing the lane back, and JPL is there with a quick slam. We have 4 Siege Giants now going for keep, and they still are 2 levels ahead. There's no level 16 talent ready.
The Shadow Dagger is delaying the Siege Giants, but there's just so many of them, just so much damage. In comes Karazim stun, little bit off target, and Karazim will live. Siege Giants once again get disabled though, and finally Navi able to push in, take down the Siege Giants, and they're trying to catch anyone from Dignitas. JPL, Putrid Bard is trying to lure them forward so this team can get the kill, but not able to get it.
Owls everywhere, 15 versus 17 now in levels. Still, Navi is just trying to get on level 16. They're really struggling to hit the next level here, especially since we once again see 2 temples activated on the map. And if Dignitas takes both of those, it will mean the death of the first few keeps in this game. We have the keep at the bot lane nearly eliminated. It's looking very similar up at the top as well, where half of the hit points have already been lost. But of course, they are very close now to 16, so that would open up an opportunity for them to maybe engage into that team fight and turn the game around. The hook again! Alex is just getting hooked the entire time and jumping out of it.
Yeah, it's a good thing for Navi that it is Alex the one who's getting hooked. He is the only one who really has a way out. And just a reminder for people who might not remember the beta or the alpha that well, the hook used to have an 8-second cooldown.
Yeah.
Just a little reminder for that one.
It was actually pretty incredible back then, but still a very strong tool here. 16 talents now with the Nerves of Steel. Here comes again that hook and Mena escaping. Circle of Life on 16. We have the Cold Embrace now. They start to go in against JPL. He's getting healed though. They're moving in as we speak. Once again, the Mighty Gust, they control the temple, at least for now. Level 16 versus level 18 here. Zarmany starting to engage again. Wooby in the backline already dropping another beautiful. Here comes the hook and the stun. Alex jumping out, going for the stone form, trying to stay alive here. Ice block used on Jaina. God knows why. Didn't even need it here in this case. But we have everyone else following this up. No kills yet though. Still 2 kills against 0. But Navi is able to secure a few shots on the temple still.
Yeah, they're also able to survive the fight, which is a bit different from the usual ones. And they're able to survive through this, and they're still around this temple area. In comes Dignitas for round 2. They're all pretty much full health again, whereas Navi are not. There's no fountain even close to this lane at the moment. And as such, they have to back away and let this temple go over to Dignitas. And the bot one is completely untouched. Dignitas going to be back a couple members so that they're all at full health and mana. And then they're going to move in to try and take that temple as well.
The hooks being thrown out the entire time and putting the fear into the hearts of the Navi players. We're seeing JPL with the deep push for now. The temple, as you already pointed out, is still up. They're waiting for their cooldowns as well. Already, Shadowstalk is back to action thanks to the massive cooldown reduction on Bakery's Tyrande play. And we have Navi taking position over here. Mighty Gust is back. Avatar is not just yet, so Alex has to be careful here. Wailing Arrow also, we're still waiting for it. No silence at this point for Navi. They start to move in, but it's Johanna at the front line, and they have no chance of taking her down. The hook once again dodged at the last moment.
Yeah, these hooks have been very close. We've seen a lot of that today. It is just, if you get hooks, you're pretty much screwed. If you don't, then it's still quite a good cooldown, but it's about to be off cooldown again. Al catches Grand Pieta. And JPL, you see him there. He's waiting for his opportunity. Dignitas not willing to move in until they have everyone. There's the Karazim. They focus him down, and that's not Muradin. He can't jump away like that. And now it is Eternal getting focused. The Mighty Gust to try and save him, but he's caught in the maw. Wobby setting it up, and everyone surrounds and murderizes Eternal there.
Karazim could not dash away. He was locked down, and even though he has Relentless on level 13, it didn't matter. And the same fate also as Sonya is being caught by the Maw. She dies too. It's a double kill once again, and yes, they go for boss. There's Alex, there's Crosby, there's Mena. They're trying. They don't have Mighty Gust up yet. It's another 10 seconds. It might be too late. They go for boss. 20s are not there yet. Alex is at the front already using Stone Form. Here comes the silence. They go for the spot. They're trying to go for China. They take her down. It's the kill, but Muradin is also down. The Mighty Gust is too late, and the kill against Falstead to secure maybe even the first victory here for Team Dignitas.
1 second off Mighty Gust there. Dignitas, they're going to push into bot lane. It's already taken damage. They're not even using the temple. They're going to push in with this boss for the win. Johanna, still dead for quite a long time, but it's only Karazim and Sonya. And yeah, Sonya can do marvelous things, but not against this. This is going to be GG. Dignitas will take game number 1. Don't even need the boss at this point. They're just bursting it down so quickly.
Dignitas looking strong in this game. The boss is there, the core nearly gone, and yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is it. Game number 1 ends up in the hands of Dignitas. They defeat Navi here, at least on the first map, but of course there's at least one more map in this game, and we are going to jump in to see which team is going to take map number 2, Dignitas or Navi, so stay tuned and we'll be back in just a bit. Alrighty guys, game number 2 is, well, the draft has actually already started and the teams are super fast with the draft right now. As you can see, we have Cursed Hollow as the second map. We have Dignitas versus Navi, and in this case, it was once again a very quick ban, first of all on Muradin and Thrall, so both of them are already locked out here, and we have Kalthas taken. That allows again for Tyrande in the draft, and with currently Dignitas being in the lead, if they win another game here, they would advance to the semifinals, and Navi would be out of the qualifier here for the Blizzard Championship. So yeah, I'm pretty excited to see what Dignitas is going to do here. They have of course a few options, and Sonya very highly prioritized now that Thrall is banned out. So once again we are back to teams trying to run like a melee assassin, or at least a very heavy frontliner with also damage like a bruiser type, and they combo it off with Tyrande, which of course is also now forcing Navi's hand a little bit when it comes to Jaina with a potential ban.
Yeah, Tyrande coming in second time. The definitely agree with the Jaina ban, and I expect Navi to pick up. Do you think they'll pick up the Stitches this early? just so Dignitas don't get it?
Yeah, it might actually happen because, like, if you think about it, with the combo that we're having right now, you could go into a Stitches. I really feel like with the Stitches, you would like to go into a Jaina too, but the problem is you already run Kel'Thas. Running Kel'Thas and Jaina happens very rarely. We've seen it before, but it doesn't happen often. They pick the Stitches up, they steal it away from the Tyrande. Now my question is really, what do they do with Jaina? Do they ban her? Or do they pick her right now? Because they know that Dignitas wants her. So they have two choices. Either they run with 2 damage dealers that rely heavily on cooldowns, or they just say, well, we have Stitches, let's pick some stuns that we can follow it up and ban out Jaina so that Dignitas can't go for a blow-up composition.
If they did run Jaina, then anyone who's getting hooked is literally getting deleted. There is no way you're going to survive a Kael'thas Jaina after getting hooked.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, like, Kel'Thas can actually not do that an amazing amount of damage instantly. He has that Flame Strike, but the Chain Bombs usually, like, take a second. So, depending on who Dignitas runs as a support, they could, for example, go into a Tacita as well if they really wanted to. But basically, the problem doesn't really present itself. We have Na'Vi with ETC, so they will ban out Jaina. The problem that I have with the Kel'Thas Jaina is that once you just like dish your spells out, you are helpless for a couple of seconds and you can't really do anything. That's why most teams complement Kel'Thas or Jaina with an auto attack damage dealer like Falstad or Reyna.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. For now, with the ETC appearing for Na'Vi, I would not be surprised to see Dignitas banning out the Uther here to prevent that very powerful combo and just an extra bit of lockdown for Kael'thas to deal his maximum damage. And like you said, Na'Vi, I agree with you and expect the Jaina to be banned, but the Uther is let through and Tacita is the hero that is banned.
It's actually interesting that Tacita is banned. I could have seen them try to go for Tacita and no Jaina ban, but it is Diablo instead. They are more afraid of the engage into stun than about the damage itself. So that's actually kind of... I really find both of these bans highly interesting. First of all, Tacita is a hero that I could have seen for Dignitas. And they are saying, well, we don't want to play him. We have seen a lot of Tyrande Tacita today, but they apparently don't want to go for it. They are afraid, though, that Na'Vi might pick him, so they ban him out. And then Na'Vi reacts, looks at the comp that we're seeing for Dignitas and says, like, yeah, of course we want to go for a blow-up comp, but we're not denying that burst damage to you of Jaina. Instead, we want to make sure that you don't get the engage. And that is also quite interesting. And think about the tanks that have been here taken. We have Muradin banned out, Stitches and ETC taken, and Diablo banned. That means all of a sudden that there is no tank left for Dignitas to perfectly combo Tyrande off with. That's actually extremely cool.
Yeah, this is very interesting. Like, other tanks with long-range stuns or stuns that can actually get them in quickly, a Nubarak is the possibility, which could in theory be used with the ETC, but there's still a very good chance that Na'Vi will pick up the Uther, which could prevent that. But then again, the Web Blast on the Cocoon, onto Uther could still work out very well for them. Other than that, Warriors, like you said, their options are very limited.
And I've seen it with 3 tanks. Well, back in like the last patch and a bit before, we had ETC, Muradin, and Diablo combo with it. And then teams were sometimes trying to allow a Tyrande, but deny all of those warriors. Now 4 of them were denied to Tyrande, which makes things even better. But it could also actually result in us not seeing a Jaina. Because Jaina is a hero that you oftentimes take because you want to go for a blow-up comp. With Johanna, you can still condemn them in and then use Blizzard, so it still works. But it's not, I feel, that must-have anymore. So we could actually see an adjustment depending on what Na'Vi does now on the side of Dignitas. And Na'Vi, well, they still need damage. And there's Vala, there's Reyna, they drop the Zagara, and that means that we are already set for damage on their part. It could, of course, be, as you already pointed out, that Divine Shield Uther with ETC. That's one of the things that they could run here as a support. There's actually not that many support options available either that would make a whole lot of sense, I feel.
Yeah, I agree. There's a couple options that they can go for here. The question is, which one they want to prioritize. If they take the Uther, they do still have the follow-up stun for Stitches as well, which would give them 3 potential stuns to follow up with. So I definitely feel they're going to be leaning towards that.
Yeah, if I wanted to go for like away from the normal picks like Kharazim and Uther, Kharazim is taken. A pick that I could have seen, maybe more on an experimental version than anything else, a very unlikely one, but still something that they could do, is a Brightwing. Counteracting Falstad a little bit, trying to also, of course, use that polymorph. Brightwing has seen a bit of an increase in the damage on Arcane Precision that you can use as well. The damage problem that they at some point have could be mitigated by Stitches just simply heading straight into the additional damage talents that he of course had, overtaking the level 1 talent that we saw in the last game. So there's a couple of ways how you can actually draft with this. Keep in mind that the patch is actually fairly new, so I'm very sure that teams are already experimenting with even more adjustments to their drafting and to their talent builds than we already see in this tournament. And it is Brightwing actually for Dignitas together with Tyrande. Alright, pointing Brightwing out, not quite right on the team, but Brightwing has been chosen as a second support here. That's actually kind of fun though.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And just to go back to what you were saying before, just looking outside the healers of Uther and Karazim, I personally, if we're talking about Na'Vi, would have maybe had a look at Malfurion there, who still has a good amount of harass on this map. His healing is still acceptable. It is very good, considering they're playing with 2 warriors already. You don't need a huge amount of burst heal. You're just trying to keep them alive. Gale Pass has a bit of his own sustain. Zagara can have a bit of her own sustain. And you can run those pretty effectively with the Malfurion and get the extra healing. Plus, you do have the option of maybe going with the cleanse, and you have the combo with Stitches with the root just in front of where the hook target lands.
Could go for that as well. Definitely right. So there is a lot of options that the teams have now. But well, we have the lineups already set, and game number 2 is about to start. Cursed Hollow is the map. Dignitas versus Na'Vi. Dignitas in the lead. Let's find out together if they can make it a 2-0 or if Na'Vi is getting back into the series. Game number 2, everybody. Na'Vi versus Dignitas. To the left side of the map here on Cursed Hollow, we have the team down 1 game in the best of 3 series. It is Na'Vi. They lost on Sky Temple. We have them here with Alex, the Pro G. He needs to show his Stitches skills again, and that's exactly what he wants to do. Crosby on Zagara, Eternal on ETC, Garapakete on Karazim, and Mene on his Kel'Thas, his strongest hero. To the right side of the map, we have a double support build with Bakery on Brightwing for Dignitas, Zarmony on Johanna. We have Yozo Kid on Falstad again, Whoopi on Tyrande, and JPL on Sonya. Game number 2 starting up here, and well, this is going to be the moment of truth for Na'Vi. Can they come back into the series, or will Dignitas take them down with a 2-0 and advance to the semifinal?
We are about to see. For now, the Owl did spot Stitches heading up to the top lane, but he actually changed his mind and rotated to mid, whereas a 4-man roaming squad is trying to catch anyone being risky and out of position from Na'Vi. Whereas the top lane, running the Brightwing up there, and Brightwing has started with that teleport ability, that hyper shift for the reduced cooldown. So it definitely looks like Brightwing at least is sticking with the support build.
Yeah, Brightwing immediately with a hyper shift there, and well, we've been talking a lot about Cleanse in particular after the last patch since the talent was buffed, even though it has a 60-second cooldown now. But one of the things that has always been argued is that there's a lot of supports out there that they can't really take Cleanse, and Brightwing is one of them, since that shield on level 7 is one of the most important talents with the current build. So if you really want to take Cleanse, then you have to drop that, which is a pretty huge risk. Similar arguments also in the case of Karazim, who of course is relying on that level 7 talent with Echo of Heaven to make sure that he gets the healing power out there. So it's pretty interesting how the discussion is already starting to take shape around that Cleanse that has been buffed a little bit by Blizzard to make sure that this stun lock meta that currently exists, or existed before the patch, is being nerfed a bit.
Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed we haven't seen Cleanse as much as we expected after the patch, because Stitches became very popular. I was very close there. ATC taking a bit of damage, will get out, but I was really hoping for someone getting the reactions to pre-cleanse a hook. That would make me very happy.
Yeah, pre-cleansing hooks is actually like one of the things that was always incredible fun. Alex moving away, missing a hook there. Oh, Alex, what's going on today? Yesterday that didn't happen. Yeah, jokes aside, like we have Alex, of course, still at the top lane, very much alone. There's no support. The only reason why he went for the hook in the first place was that the tower would be able to get a couple of shots in. There was no way to actually take a target down. We have level 4 talents now, and that gives us on Stitches the amplified healing once again. And we're having the level 4 talents also now ready for Dignitas.
Yeah, Brightwing not taking the teleport talent, the peekaboo, or the healing talent, the manic pixie. Oh, bastard! Gets a shield from his roll, gets a heal as well. He's going to be able to survive. But Brightwing taking the arcane barrage, increasing the range of his Q by 50%. And the fact is, Brightwing in the recent patch, that Q got a big damage upgrade and it hits hard.
Yeah, it definitely does. If you're not used to the new damage and you just like sit there and you laugh about it and you're like, yeah, what are you going to do? Then suddenly you are going to have a bit of a reality check because that can actually hurt quite a bit now. So Brightwing with the damage boost. The first tribute, by the way, also on the map. And once again, Eternal is moving in there, going for Whoopi and already following up. Tyrande is actually in a world of trouble now, but with a good stun, she's able to get away.
Yeah, in comes Brightwing. No, Brightwing cancelled, the teleport cancelled, being hooked by Stitches there. So he wasn't able to come down and help, but now has to hang around here for a bit, continuing to heal up. Neither team making a play on that tribute yet.
Yeah, and talking about the tribute, we're having it still in play at the bot lane, and most of the players are still around trying to gather it, but a move into the mid lane to soak some experience. Zarmony with a condemn, and down here, the problem is that the towers are already down, and we also see that the last one has no ammunition left, so the gate is gone, the towers are about to be gone, and that is a problem. That's actually a big problem for Dignitas. They could even attack the well, Navi that is, and try to drop that.
Whoopi actually denying the turn in for a little bit. And yeah, Navi is just continuing to push in this bottom lane. They're going to get this tower right now. And the Flame Strike using it to hit the fountain too. And they will get the tribute for the... Nope. Continuing to be denied by Whoopi. But Whoopi currently being bullied by the two warriors. Khaldor with a nice dash to dodge out the stun. But in comes Falset and will be able to protect Whoopi there.
Yeah, finally, there it is. A miss on the shield glare, a bit out of position, and Mene is now channeling it through. At the top lane, on the other hand, we had a double commitment to the towers, and that is a bit of an awkward spot now for Navi. They were actually in like a very nice position to get the tribute and maybe even a few structures in the bot lane, but they're starting to lose an equivalent of structures up at the top, which is, of course, making this not really the big win that they were hoping for.
Yeah, they're going to be able to get the fort down there, but up in the top lane, like you said, trading pretty much evenly here, if not a little bit slower due to a numbers disadvantage. Stitches coming up to try and defend this, but Sonya and Brightwing will be able to finish this off, even a polymorph onto Alex to ensure it goes down. And actually, JPL taking quite a bit of damage here, gets hooked, spears away, gets hooked back in, taking damage from the keep there, the fort, but not able to get the kill.
Bakery is keeping him alive right now. Whoopi even moved in for another quick heal. Of course, there was always the chance to go for another polymorph once the cooldown was ready again. They are going heavily for the fort now, trying to take it down. We have a commitment in the mid lane on the other hand by Navi, attempting to do the exact same thing over here. And with now Mene also joining the fun, they are of course starting to drop those bombs and also flame strikes. Good job thus far. Tenderizer, by the way, on Stitches here. So Alex actually shifting away from the usual build with the last fight that we see him use in most of the games that he played yesterday and today. And instead we have the old school talent trying to slow down targets that he was able to hook.
Yeah, and that is quite interesting. Oh, Bakery in a little bit of trouble here. Gives himself a speed boost. Gets stunned up for starters. He does not have the sustain or the ability to teleport out. He gets picked off. And once again, the 4-man attack coming in from Navi into top lane. Going to take down all the towers up there too. However, they did get the tribute up to Dignitas, but that's not going anywhere because of their huge level lead.
It's again a trade in structures. At the bot lane, we have a tower eliminated, the same up at the top, but of course that level 10 ability is going to hit faster for Navi now. They're really trying to play around the opponent at this point, and we see them with the heroics going into the mosh pit, Phoenix, Maw, Putrid Bile, and I suppose that for Karasim, it's once again this choice. Do you want to go for the 7-sided strike, try to drop a target that gets hooked by Stitches, or do you feel the need to go into the panic button and use that Divine Palm? Grandpakete, great with both of these talents here, but it's just a question, do you want damage or do you want more sustain?
Yeah, it's a tough decision for him. He does, once again, like we said, have that Stitches and a lot of stun to follow up, so if they can get someone, they're going to burst him down, but there aren't too many very high health warriors that would get the maximum efficiency out of it. Palm could be a possibility, but once again, not a huge amount of burst damage coming in from Dignitas either.
Yeah, well, he's certainly still looking around what's happening up at the top lane here at the same time. I mean, there's always the threat that someone is going maybe for a boss, trying to sneak that in, but the heroes were instead at the Siege Giant camp, taking that first. It's another tribute on the map. It would be the second tribute for both of these teams. And there it is, the 7-sided strike and the mosh pit. They commit 2 heroic abilities to take down Brightwing. Totally worth it. Going for the tribute now, securing that, and also, of course, denying some experience to the opponent at the top lane.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of bullying here coming in from Navi, especially onto Baker. It seems he doesn't have any friendlies near him, so he's not able to blink heal out. You can see Dignitas trying to make the most they can out of this. They put some pressure onto the bot lane, and now it looks like they're thinking about doing their own boss. Sonya and Tyrande hanging around it. They're finally going to start it. But Grandpa Curta going to come in here, give them vision. And how quickly are NaVi going to react to this, if at all? In comes Falstad to help out. Looks like they're just going to leave it.
Yeah, with Mighty Gust, it's going to be a bit tricky. They could try to go for their own boss at the bot lane, especially since Falstad already used the flying ability and is therefore on cooldown. And they go in immediately. Of course, the Owl is already spotting it. And it is going to be a bit close, to be honest with you. I mean, that boss is up at the top. Falstad and Bakery will be able to fly to the bot lane soon enough once those cooldowns are ready. But nope, there's enough damage on the side of Na'Vi to secure their own boss without any problem whatsoever. And Na'Vi, well, or Dignitas, they already realized that and move instead into the mid lane to take down a few more structures.
Yeah, they're going to be able to grab all the towers and the wall from here. Stitch's hook not landing on anything. Brightwing continuing to hang around with the boss for the moment because, of course, she is Brightwing and can teleport in to help out. There's Rapid the Berserker popped. Not able to catch anyone yet. Both teams posturing. Brightwing leaving it to the last second before teleporting in. Finally going to teleport onto JPL. Did take that phase shield. JPL already taking a lot of damage. The huge more, though. The Phoenix coming in for the follow-up. Zarmony getting focused. Mighty Gust will zone them away once the more pops and give them a chance to disengage. But Zarmony's still focused down.
Johanna is down, and at the same time we see Brightwing jumping away. A nice hook against Whoopi. The double stun, but Bakery is moving in, and Eternal is still on his mount. He can go in, and he does. And they push Tyrande away, and that is another kill for... Well, what? What?
Heals.
What just happened? They just let her go.
No,
Like-
well, now it's Bakery. Blink heal.
That just
and
happened.
getting out. Yeah, they're all out. They have escaped. They've killed the boss. Top boss went down the towers, but the curse is active, and Na'Vi are going to take full advantage of this, going straight for this keep.
I can't believe that they just let her go. They both apparently thought that the other one would finish Tyrande off, and nobody did. And then suddenly Brightwing is back and heals her up again, and the cooldown for Tyrande is ready to heal herself. Mistakes were made, so it's still a 5 versus 5. But here comes another great hook and the 7-sided strike. So finally they get her second attempt, and now finally she's dead.
Yeah, Tyrande finally getting picked off, and so will the keep. Na'Vi looking very dominant in this game, and this is what happens when you let Alex get his stitches. And their team is looking very dominant right now. Going to move to mid lane, take down the fort there as well. They still have 13 seconds left on this curse. The fort goes down easily, and they're going to go and try and grab a tower or two in the mid lane.
Level 13 talents for both teams, but that curse still active for 2 more seconds, and they use it to drop the wall here. We have by now also, of course, a couple of talents that are really going to be helpful later on in the game, especially that Giant Killer comboed with the Seasoned Marksman to take Stitches down. Nice attempt here. Once again, they move in. Good gravity lapse as well, but the stun against Alex and the Polymorph following it up too. Once again, Stitches in a bit of trouble. Blessed Shield has been committed too, and Alex is low, but the 7-sided strike is pushing JPL back as he's moving in, and again the kill against Zarmony. Great plays here by Na'Vi. Very different game from what we've seen on Sky Temple. 5 kills against 0, and Na'Vi is moving in. And a very optimistic Maw has been used here to trap a minion.
Well, no, it was going to hit Bakery, but Bakery really well timed the blink heal, blinked out of it just before it caught him.
It was the minion that he wanted, not Bakery.
Yeah. He needs the XP. He needs to farm.
Exactly.
Oh, no, what was that? Like the clip from BlizzCon? Where it just showed Maw, like, this is how Maw works. It just shows him mooring a bruiser camp.
Very helpful.
That was the best. Just like, yeah, that's how Maw works. That's how you should use it. Looks about right.
Okay, so they apparently, what are they going to time that camp at the top with? Like, they took it, both of, oh, they take all of them.
Oh, this is risky.
Yeah, but it's also a little bit dirty. I mean, if it works...
Fast fly. Fly and steal the camps.
That's a problem. Like, they don't have a false set fly or anything, but they take them very early, these camps, but they don't capture them. Again, Brightwing. Oh my god. Like, this must be so frustrating. Hook into 7-sided strike is just dirty, especially if you have also a Karazhan to lock you down. Or Kel'Thas, sorry, my bad.
Yeah, Bakery really having a tough time with these engages here. The stun locks, Brightwing doesn't have a counter to that. She does have the option of cleanse, but self-cleanse was removed from the game with the new cleanse change, so he can't even protect himself of that.
So they take the camps now. And we are going to see, we have them on level 16. We're going to see the next tribute in a second, and there it is. Great timing here for the 2 camps that they just took. 0 deaths on the side of Na'Vi. They play a perfect game so far. 6 kills on their part though, and they took down Brightwing 3 times. The only 2 heroes that haven't died yet are Falstad and Sonya. And again, we see them move in. Nice hook attempt here. Very well done. It's a good prediction hook, actually. Like, thinking about where the opponent could be, getting a bit of a glimpse in the P, and then just like trying to hit that hook. And oftentimes that will work out for you. But now the tribute is channeled, they secure it, and of course we have the level 16 talents by now for Na'Vi as well, which gives us fishing hook again, and even an echo paddle on the side of ETC.
Yeah, right now oh yeah, Echo Pedal is quite interesting. Just a little bit of extra damage as if they need more burst for now. Dignitas just continuing to soak. They need that level 16 Bakery, getting the XP in the bot lane. Zarmony hanging around in the mid lane, just waiting for that to push up. But we do see Falstad, nice roll there. But they have managed to scout out the boss, and because that hook didn't land, Na'Vi not willing to fight because 16 is so close for Dignitas.
That was the holy shit roll right there.
Oh god.
You're just like chilling in the back, and
Oh,
then all of a
Zarmony.
sudden there's that hook. Oh, he has the iron skin, it's fine. Unless he
well
gets
timed.
hooked. Okay.
Bakery. Almost hit him again. Bakery being the hook magnet this game. Or at least it's just the in general stun magnet.
If you play enough against Alex, you get really good at dodging hook at some point. Now we have level 16 talents. The Bouncy Dust after Shield Dust taken for Brightwing. We have also now Imposing Presence. There is Ranger taken, Nerves of Steel. We have been talking over the talents a little bit on the opponent's side. Circle of Life. Oh, again, Johanna! And that 7-sided strike combo. This is so dirty. I need to shower after this game.
This is 100. Falstad's hovering around there, just like he wants to risk it. Being down a hero, just not going to dive in and try and steal the boss. Instead, they're letting the boss go, they're letting the tribute go, and instead, Dignitas continuing to stay on the defensive.
Yeah, Dignitas is still soaking a bit and deep pushing lanes more than anything. I mean, they are on the same talent level, so that's not going to really be a big problem for them. But the boss has to be defended against, and of course that opens up another timing window for Na'Vi at the bot lane. The owl flies in, and of course Ruby knows what's going on. Are they trying to go for it? It looks really like Falstad. Yes, he's flying down. Oh. They're trying to gust it.
They're going to try. Falstad landing nearby as opposed to in it. Grandbaketa will scout this, positioning himself very well. There's the owl showing the vision. Falstad getting delivered to the boss. The boss is not done yet. Has the Mighty Gust to just disengage, so that boss will go over to Na'Vi.
Yeah, that Mighty Gust was originally intended to do something else, not push them into the boss, but, well, it saved his life, so it kind of works. Yeah. The problem is that the boss at the top lane is still doing massive damage to the keep, and we have now one at the bot lane moving into.
No, but Dignitas finally moving in to engage a fight, but the Putrid Isle forces the chase to be called off. The hook does not land. Very nice dodge from Dignitas here. And the owl does do a little bit of damage to Kael'thas, but they're not willing to fight. Dignitas just so much in trouble here. JPL trying to engage again, but they need to get the right engagement here because a lot of heroics for Na'Vi are still off cooldown, including the mosh pit.
The core is going to be attacked. Oh my god, not again! Wobby! Wobby is dead, and it's a 5 versus 4. Alex the Pro G with another long distance hook. 8 kills against 0. Boss on core with half HP. 5 versus 4 situation in the game. They go in. They go for JPL. Mighty Gust being used once again, but there's the 7-sided strike. The full duration hitting, and once more they move in. Oh my god, there's that. Oh god, I don't even know what to say. This is a slaughter. They are murdering them.
Yeah, they're just trying to do any damage they can. The boss is down, but it doesn't matter. Everyone on Na'Vi at pretty much full health except Breathe Turtle. Maynard finally takes some damage, but it doesn't matter anyway. It is GG. And Na'Vi bring the series up to 1-1.
We're going to see a third game, and it is going to be awesome. Game number 3, everybody, on Infernal Shrines. We have a 1-1 situation in the game. Dignitas versus Na'Vi, and Infernal Shrines is going to be the conclusion. I love this map. I really like casting it. It's always fun. The Punisher is going ham, jumping in everybody's face, trying to really dish out the damage here. And we already saw Stitches everywhere. The hooks were flying in the last game, and also in game number 1. Now, once again, we could see Stitches. If this, like, seriously, if the pace continues like this with the hero, he's going to be banned soon enough as the first ban. It's going to happen.
To be banned this game.
Yeah. I would not be surprised to see a ban on Stitches at some point. But first of all, it's all about Thrall again. Thrall banned out. Na'Vi now in a situation where they can say, yeah, it's Kael'thas. They say like, all right, if you want to have Tyrande, go for it. We ban out Kael'thas. what is Dignitas going to do? Is that Stitcher's first pick coming, or are they actually like playing it with a different hero and dropping that Tyrande here?
Yeah, I'm waiting for it. It's creeping up. Muradin has been let through the draft as well, who's been pretty effective so far in most of the matches he's been in. Question of what Dignitas want to prioritize.
I mean, one of the things that we've seen when Stitches is played on this map is that actually on the level 1 talent you can go for the extra damage on the slam to secure yourselves a few more minions on the Infernal Shrine fights. Other heroes that are strong here are, of course, Leoric with the Skeleton Swing, Sonya with Whirlwind as she's picked by Dignitas now. We have, of course, Johanna with the Eternal Retaliation build, oftentimes even banned out. And Navi is now in a spot where they have to think about what they're going to do here. Muradin is around. You can go into Tyrande. You can go Stitches Tyrande if you want here. Stitches would give you a little bit more AoE damage for the Shrine fights. And he's incredibly popular, as we could already see during the entire day and also yesterday. And Navi, they have to think about how they are going to draft this now, because Dignitas has shown in the first game that they are willing to go for Stitches as well. Very eager, actually. And now they have to, think, okay, do we take him now? Because if they don't pick Stitches at this point, they might not even get him.
Yeah, it's very risky. He's been so high in priority, but we're yet to see him in those first pick, first ban situations. But everyone's like, we want Stitches, but we're not ready to give up these other heroes, yet those other heroes seem to drop to Stitches. And there it is, Navi finally with their first pick being Stitches.
And now, do we see Tyrande to combo things off here? I'm loving this right now. Stitches chosen. It's going to be Stitches Charism. I don't really think that's going to happen, but you have a lot of healers that you can actually combo off with Stitches, even an Uther for a stun, Charism for the 7-sided strike. They have options. They could actually go for it. They could go for Charism, but there's still Tyrande there. There's Muradin to consider. There's so many heroes that would really have a nice follow-up for a good hook. You want to have a stun, you want to have a lockdown or a burst damage, so it could be a Jaina, it could be a Tyrande, it could be a Muradin, it could be a Charism. They have so many options right now starting things off here, and they ignore all of them, instead go for map control.
Tagara still very strong though, very effective at clearing these demon skeleton things, and just good map vision if they decide to go into the lane that Zagara's in. And we've seen some stellar Moors all day today.
We have. I mean, that one triple Moor that we saw on this map in particular decided a game more or less. Dignitas is taking the opportunity to go for Tyrande, and after Diablo was banned out several times against them, they are just saying alright, screw it, we are going straight for Tyrande Diablo, and that is a very, very sick engage combo already that they're running here. Navi, of course, they could ban something like a Jaina now. It's the damage behind it. Depends a bit on what they want to take. If they, for example, decide to go into more of a burst combo with Jaina and the Blizzard damage themselves, then they don't need to ban her. So it's dependent very much on how exactly they're going to draft it. But nope, they say, we are not going to go for it, and we want to get rid of that Jaina, so they ban her out, and that's a lot of the follow-up damage that Dignitas could have thrown into the battle.
Indeed, so Navi now, more range damage for them, possibly another frontliner, more crowd control, as they've been running a lot of that. Muradin still left unpicked and unbanned, so he could be the follow-up stun to that Stitches and give them a hell of a tanky frontline.
Talking follow-up stun, the ban on Dignitas, we haven't talked about it yet. It is an Uther ban. Uther, of course, not only great because of the Divine Shield, but also after a Stitches hook, you can start with that stun on his side. Like back in the old days, you even had the Divine Storm being used as another stun on top of all of that. So he's definitely a great hero here. And it's also one of the heroes that runs Cleanse. And with what Dignitas is doing here, Cleanse is one of the abilities that got changed a bit to make this a bit less of a problem. So one of the cleanse supports is already gone. Navi decides to go for Muradin for the follow-up stun. We've been talking about it. It's a double frontline again. Falstad, amazing hero either way on all of the maps, and that's exactly what they do. They still need their support, and it's going to be a tough question for them. They can go into a lot of supports that have a cleanse available, but which is going to support where they say, yes, we are not afraid to actually let cleanse go here. And Dignitas, talking supports, could even combo that Tyrande off with a Tassadar now, since he was not banned or picked yet.
They could, and I just love the fact that we're still in such a heavy stun meta, but the cleanses are still not being prioritized. There's a Kerrigan, that's double melee, and a Karazim! That's a all melee team, except for Tyrande coming in here for Dignitas, and that is very interesting. That is a burst team if ever I've seen one.
I think I have to change my pants. Kerrigan has been picked here. Whoopi maybe on Kerrigan. We might see that. Well, he could also be in Tyrande, I suppose. But look at this. Stuns galore. I mean, they are going full ham on it. And Navi, like, what's going to be the support here? What are they going to drop now as a support? If they want the cleanse... Dude, like, Well, Malv, if you go for Cleanse, has to let Enduring Growth go. If you go for another hero that could use Cleanse, it's Morales. But Morales against this lineup? Hell no. I would not be comfortable playing that.
They don't even pick a support. They go for Chen.
That has to be
I'm so confused. There has to be a bug. That can't be right. Let me check the lobby.
That has to be a bug. There can't be Chen.
Alex says it's Tass. Okay.
Tassadar. Okay, they go for Tassadar. All right.
No Cleanse.
All right,
I don't know. It's like, well, they picked all the supports we want, so sod it. No support.
They're just like, okay, screw it. So it's not a Chen, it is a Tassadar instead, but Tassadar with the shields, that helps. And he gives you vision, of course, as well. Guys, oh my god, this is... And you have the Force Wall again. The Force Wall after Stitch's hook. Boys, we are going to go into the game now. This is the final map. This is the showdown between Dignitas and NaVi. The final map of the day here, and it's going to be awesome. Infernal Shrines, map number 3, coming up right now. Game number 3, everybody. The final map of the day. The final map in the quarterfinal between NaVi and Dignitas. To the left side of the map, it is Alex the Frog on Stitches, Crosby on Zagara. We have Grand Paquette on Tassadar, Mena on Falstad, and Eternal on Muradin. To the right side of the map, Dignitas with Bakery on Karazim, Zarmani on Sonya, Yozo Kid on Tyrande, Whoopi on Kerrigan. That's exactly what we want to see. And JPL on Diablo. Stuns galore for Dignitas now. The stun meta is back. We have Stitches in play as well, and this is going to be great. Talent choices on level 1 even adjusted already. I'm Khaldor, with me is Tetcher, and we're going to bring you the coverage here at the last game in the best of 3 series at the Heroes Championship qualifier between Dignitas and NaVi.
Oh, Stitches immediately getting focused. He gets stunned, but Jay takes all of that. Stitches his first blood. Jay might be second, and he is a 1-for-1 trade. And welcome to the first 30 seconds of the game.
That's exactly what we want to see. We wanted a third game, we got a third game, and it is starting in beautiful fashion. Level 1 talents here already. On Kerrigan, of course, it is the Siphoning Impact. We have, by the way, Updraft taken, so the range of the Barrel Crow has been increased. The players already saying, hey, we need to get these small advantages out of our opponent. Mene just basically saying, yeah, my Season Marksman is not going to matter here. I have to adjust my build. I'm going to go for the cooldown reduction build here. Crosby, Grand Paquette, Eternal, they're moving up to the top. And again, the stuns everywhere. JPL and Whoopi could go for another kill. They already secured the first one. And this is going to be a beautiful game.
Yeah, like I said before, I love the idea of Updraft here, that extra 30% on the Ranger barrel roll, due to the fact that, well, Dignitas seem to be going for a burst comp just without the Stitches here, just purely going to die people. And Falstad, he has barrel roll, which gives him the shield, but he could still get caught out. Having the extra range just gives him an extra chance of getting away.
And that is something that he is definitely going to need in this game. Stuns everywhere in this match right now. Mena at the bot lane. 1 minute 30 seconds into the game. The shrine gets announced up at the top, where Crosby already started to set down his creep tumors on Zagara. And yeah, Crosby is probably going to hate his life throughout the game. I mean, there's so many stuns. And Zagara, what does she lack? An escape, exactly. So she's going to be the priority target. And I don't want to switch places with Crosby now.
No, I would not want to be Crosby. Eternal does see Jay and Tyrande roaming her down here. But not going to make anything of it. But now we're seeing Falstad and Sonya staying in the bot lane, but Falstad coming up to join his team, meaning Sonya going to be alone down here to either soak or no, to go to the mid lane to try and catch out Whoopi here, who's getting focused out. We didn't even mention that he is the one of the Kerrigan. Jumps in, gets the heal, gets the stun. They're coming in. He goes down, but the punishment crew is here. And it is Muradin getting focused down, takes a lot of damage, and the shields.
They get the shield, and he barely survives. The Eternal moves away, and both of the teams are like, wait, Infernal Shrines? Punishers? What are you talking about? We don't need that.
Objective.
What are objectives?
It's not even active.
It's like 1 minute since this thing was announced. They kill against Kerrigan, and we see them now with the Owl build continuing thanks to Pierce. There's the clean kill, which allowed actually Kerrigan to jump around like a bunny on speed in that last fight when she was trying to escape. We have up at the top now the battle starting for the minions, and in this case it's amplified healing. Level advantage actually already on the side of NaVi, and Mena securing even more experience at the bot lane. He can always fly in if need be, but they are looking to take him down. But he gets away. Mena playing it safe.
Yeah, he even has his barrel roll ready just in case. So he's pretty fine just playing like this, playing very far back and not getting himself caught. In the meantime, NaVi continue to get their lead, currently 25-0 in favor of Skeletons. There's very little Dignitas can do about this. They're on their way up, but instead of just looking for kills, there's really very little way they can move in here to try and contest.
Yeah, for now they're actually starting to move through the top. That experience lead that we see for Navi is not really all that big at this point. Level 7, of course, would be great for them. Look how careful Maina plays here. He's just trying to dip a bit forward to see if he can soak the experience, but everybody else is playing super careful, so they don't know what's going on. Zarmany taking the camp here now, though, but with 36 against 40, it looks like they're just waiting a bit until they finally time that Punisher perfectly.
Yeah, and the Punisher will be coming in very soon. We're seeing Muradin grabbing the last couple skeletons there, and now currently only Bakery up in this mid lane, but there's a bit of a fight in the mid lane, and Stitches gets taken down here. Somebody clearing up the minions as well as they can. The rest of the Dignitas do back up. They need to get up to that top lane to defend the Punisher.
Frozen Punisher is there. Once again, last bite taken. So Alex is back to his normal build. We see also Kala's Embrace, of course, taken as a level 7 talent. The Punisher is moving in. Endless creep for Crosby. 2 kills against 2 for the two teams. Double battle momentum. One for Diablo and the other one on the side of Kerrigan. Down here already the action is still ongoing, especially of Kerrigan also being pushed back. The teams are doing an incredible job soaking the lanes while we see fights over objectives and the objectives themselves moving on the map.
Yeah, Robbie just using his clean kill to clear up all the minions here without wasting any mana. Very effective ability on Kerrigan for the wave clear. Last fight you already mentioned on Alex the Prodigy here, so he's going to be using that especially on those shrine fights for a maximum health regen. Munis is taking the risk of going for the mercenary camp. There are already 2 people down here. They should be able to hold this if Navi do decide to raid it, but Navi not even going to bother.
I love how careful these teams are right now. It is the last game. You have to think about this. We are in the quarterfinals. It's the map that matters, the final chance that you have to advance to the semifinals. And the 2 teams that make it to the final qualify already for Katowice, for the finals in Europe. And both of these teams are amongst the best in Europe. And of course, they want to be there. It's the first qualifier of many, but at the same time, you don't want to miss out on the opportunity to qualify early on here. And this is the game that everything hinges on right now. So both of them super careful, just waiting every single time to get an opportunity and jump on it to take an advantage in the game.
Exactly, Wobby gets a stun onto Crosby here, but very little follow-up. Like, Tyranda's here, but not enough damage. Wobby now having to pull back behind his minion wave, gets a little bit of health back from that siphoning impact, and is now ready to, if he needs to, join his team, but level 10 has already been hit by Navi. Dignitas desperately trying to soak to there themselves so that they can try and contest this.
And they take more camps there, especially at the top lane, Zarmany, and once again Updraft here for Maine really coming to play. We see, of course, now also Mighty Gussies. Oh, Diablo in the mid lane actually taken out by the rotation that we see there. So lockdown was there. We have another shrine also activated. In comes Tyrande. We have Zarmany. Oh, Eternal. Yeah, he jumps out in time. They need to wait for Diablo, of course. He didn't have the souls ready to resurrect immediately. And now it's again an advantage for Navi, but both of the teams now on level 10. And Leap has been taken on Sonya. Oh my god, I want to have your baby.
Dignitas going for a very, very all-in style here. They're waiting for Diablo, but while they are waiting for Diablo, Navi's getting a huge head start on the shrine here. They're currently 30-3, and they're still killing off stuff. JPL is now back, and Dignitas will basically have to get a full team wipe to stop Navi just getting the Immortal by accident here. And they're just throwing in abilities anyway, just staying in harass range. They don't need to dive in here. Kerrigan stealing one away quite nicely, though. Only 5 more needed. And that's going to be super easy for them. Sonya in position, though. So they want to try and trap, but the Immortal has already been taken.
That engage potential, think about this for a second. Leap into Apocalypse, into Tyrande stun, into Kerrigan stun. You could add a few more stuns, but it doesn't matter anymore because any target will be dead by that time. So right now the Punisher in the mid lane again, but there is that potential for Dignitas to have a massive engage on one of these heroes once the Punisher is dead.
Yeah, Alex looking for a potential hook. There is a minion wave completely in the way here. Punisher pushing all the way through, manages to take down the fort. Bakery tanking up the Punisher so the rest of his team can kill it off.
Now, once again, they are starting to move over here. Here comes the Force Wall covering the retreat, and they need to switch to the lanes to get the experience there. But I can't wait for Dignitas to finally make that decision to move in with that leap and combo those ults off. This is going to be absolutely great. It can, of course, backfire heavily, but still, the balls to go for it in the last game of the series, this is going to be great.
Yeah, it's so risky. Like, if Dignitas can get this comp rolling, then they have a chance. But right now, Navi putting in a huge amount of domination in the early game, and they're trying to hold it with everything they have.
The control on the mercenaries is really strong for Dignitas, especially of course with Sonya being able to take basically every single camp on this map solo. They are always moving around and just doing that. The preloads on the shields for Tacita are very strong. He's always in making sure that his entire team is covered. Grand Paquette once again on top of things. We have level 13 nearly ready now, and the talents here of course are going to be very important. Getting that slight edge over your opponent is incredibly powerful. It's a level advantage that they roughly have. Eternal, look how, like, he doesn't even show himself. He's just on his mount, trying to move back. He knows that Wooby is around. Here comes the Owl again. Are they going to go for Kerrigan? They don't, but we have JPL moving back down to meet up with the rest of the team and meet that attack that we see Navi prepare.
Yeah, even though Eternal was hidden there, the rest of the team was, or at least a good chunk of it, was revealed by that Owl. So Dignitas knew that they were in a bit of danger, and as such did not go too far out of position. Navi using this opportunity to take down another Forge, leaving Dignitas with only one, just in time for that shrine to be spawning. Dignitas still not at level 13. They've managed to be behind the talent pretty much every single fight. They're finally about to hit level 13 and should be in time for the shrine. Then they need to group up and make their attempt, because they're just falling really far behind if they keep leaving this.
They need that 13, you're totally right about that. And I mean, we have Relentless now in, we have that Mutalisk, here comes JPL, they're trying to get a few experience points by just taking down the next wave that moves in the middle now. There's the level 13 talent, they can start to engage. We have once again the fire level talent taken on the side of Diablo, Relentless for Charism, and we see again Mystical Spear for Sonya. Here comes Kerrigan, not going into the shield count, but instead it's Eviscerate for the range, Overflowing Light. Where's the engage? There comes the stun from Tirana, they're starting to move in, and once again we saw the Force Wall already used by Tacita, as both of them are fighting for those shrines. No heavy engagement just yet, but you can formally feel that they're going for it. Alex the Pro G is getting sucked in. There's the more against two. Where's the follow-up? Not there yet. Zarmany is going for the leap. He misses completely. He doesn't hit anything. No Apocalypse used yet. It's Zarmany, the first one to die.
Will be jumping very deep, trying to get Grand Paquette. Grand Paquette activating the dimensional shift to keep himself alive. The palm saves Kerrigan. The fight continuing with Wooby getting focused down. Bakery having to back up. Wooby jumping to a third to try to escape. Gets stunned up and killed off. And Navi able to take the fight 2-0 and get the Punisher. Dignitas very close to getting the Punisher, but the Putrid Bar from Stitch is able to pick up the last few skeletons.
What a fight that we saw there. And Zarmany just missing the leap he was trying to go for. That might have changed things a little bit if they could combo it off with the Apocalypse. They didn't, and now the Punisher is going full ham. Go ham or go home. And he goes in, starting to take down the structures here, pushing everybody back. And Navi takes the opportunity to drop 2 towers. And they have the discipline to move back. They don't overextend. They just say, boys, that's it. Move back. Just make sure that we don't overextend. We can't lose here. We are ahead. Let's run with the advantage that we have and don't risk anything. It's the last game and we need to be careful here.
Yeah, there's no way Navi will want to throw when they are this far ahead. Still have 2 forts down. They've been able to take every Punisher so far. That was the closest Dignitas have come to getting one, and Dignitas are still 2 levels behind here, about to be 3 levels, as 16 is getting quite close for Navi. Oh, there's the stealth. Bakery, not with his team here. Looks like he's going to finish off the camp first. In comes the leap onto the Tacita. They will get the camp here, and Diablo, though, is now the wrong side of the wall, thanks to the hook. And that was a camp in exchange for a hero, but Diablo does have his full revive up.
Yeah, but one of the problems that we have now is that level 16 is just around the corner, and Eternal is jumping into... Oh, here comes Mane! Goes for the Mighty Gust! They're jumping onto Wooby and Tirana at the same time. The Apocalypse is pretty good, though, and makes sure that at least 2 of these heroes are able to escape. But Tyrande is still locked out, and there is no way for her to escape. Goodbye, Tyrande. And that now delivers level 16 into the hands of Navi. We have the Fishing Hook, we have Brood Expansion, Dimensional Warp. There's also Hammer Time, and Stoneform, and the hook against Kerrigan.
Yeah, he is kind of screwed. The palm will save him, but it's not going to be enough. Wooby gets taken out. Bakery proving he can still hit the palms, but what does it matter if you're this far behind? He needs his team to actually stay alive, not be revived and killed again. We're going to see Navi move in. They're going to take the keep here, the first one of the game, and the objective is ready in the top lane. Navi will get there about in time for it to activate.
NaVi with 8 kills against 2, and they rotate up to the top. There is in the mid lane, on the other hand, a double camp that they have to deal with. 2 of the Khaldor camps are pushing in, 6 in total. Need to get rid of those, and that's what they do now. We have Alex and Crosby in position. The Shrine up at the top lane is now active, and there's a slight window that Dignitas has now to get a lead in minion count. But of course, we have NaVi rotate over without a level 16 talent, and Karrigan still trailing behind. They need to back off.
Karrigan is getting there very soon, though, and Dignitas do have, for the first time, a head start. They're not even close to their 16s, but it's still hanging around. Alex zoning out everyone by his entry point here. Very nicely played. And, well, Sarmony and JPL are in a really tough position. The cloak, though, used with that Shadow Stalk, allowing them to get in. There's the lead, catching 2 members more, hitting Diablo, so they don't have the Apocalypse to follow up. Sarmony getting focused out. Bakery's not even close to him. And Sarmony bites the dust. Here comes the Apocalypse. But Falstad able to dive out with that barrel roll, but they do at least get Zagara.
Zagara is dead, and at the same time now starts trying to jump in again. Alex is in a bit of trouble, but so is JPL. Whoopi's already moving back, and Karrigan is extremely low. Karrigan, Eternal is moving in. She's still alive. There's a Storble on the other hand, and the Divine Palm is hitting. Great job by Bakery, keeping her alive once again, but they're not triggering it, and Whoopi is being healed once again by Tirana. He's still escaping here, healing himself, but in the end, she dies regardless. Karrigan and Diablo down. Main, on the other hand, is getting... No, he's not getting dropped. He eliminates Bakery. It's a team wipe. NaVi with a team wipe against Dignitas. What a fight once again. Absolutely crazy. And Sarmony with that early leap into the backline, isolating himself in an attempt to take down Zagara. What a battle.
Yeah, he tried to go in for the backline to try and take someone down, but Diablo was more just as he could have followed up for the extra stun and are giving the team time to engage. Very well played by Zagara, able to at least make the team wipe happen out of his own death.
Once again, there's the 16 finally for Dignitas. Too little, too late, 2.5 levels behind. We have them now with a Circle of Life. They have such a scary setup. Sonya with a lead, Tyrande, of course, with those stuns, Karrigan, Diablo with Apocalypse. It's so incredibly dangerous to go up against this setup. They have so many stuns, so many lockdowns, so many things that they can use to really isolate a target and take it apart. But NaVi has played the perfect game against this composition. Never allowed them to snowball, and they are controlling the game. 16 talent on Tirana, going for the Ranger now. Blood for blood or use on Karrigan, or at least her version of it. The Essence for Essence. Again, a hook from Alex, and they use that Punisher to go for keep number 2.
JPL tanking the Punisher, though, making sure that it doesn't go onto the buildings for now. The Punisher is a mortar one, so it's doing a reasonable amount of damage to the heroes here, trying to zone them out, and it's going to be annihilating these buildings very quickly. But look at NaVi, they're not willing for this. The Owls does spot them, which is quite nice, so Dignitas know to not get caught out. And NaVi, like we said before, just because they're ahead, they're not going to risk diving. They're still on the same talent tier, and they're not going to take a fight unnecessarily. They're not going to dive a keep unnecessarily.
The discipline on their setup is incredible right now. So many teams would have dived there. And you could win that. I mean, it's not necessarily a bad decision to use that momentum and try to drop the keep, but they're saying, why would we? We are so close. We are 3 levels ahead, so close to 20. Let's just chill, make sure that we play this controlled, that we don't make mistakes, make good choices right now, and play controlled fights, and we have the opportunity to finish them. The hook again, JPL! JPL, in comes the leap. This time maybe Apocalypse is being used, Mighty Gust as well. They're starting to jump, they're going in for the chase, and Diablo is already trying to run away. At the same time, we have at least one forceful use by Tacita, trying to isolate somebody. Doesn't really help them, but JPL is again on the run, gets hooked again. Alex takes him down. Mystical Spear saves Sarmony, or does it? Eternal goes in, but misses the Stormbolt.
Looks like NaVi aren't done yet, though. They're going to push on to the mid lane because Dignitas has to defend bot, because minions were already on the core there. They have finally been cleared out, so they can move back into defend this, but they're still down JPL. He had nowhere near enough souls for a revive, so he's going to be down for another 22 seconds.
Level 20 talents, and it's epic mount for Falstad. Flying around the map within seconds, flies up actually. Why walk when you can fly? Hardened Shield for Stitches, Storm Shield for Tacita, Rewind on Muradin, and they are 3 level ahead with the Storm talent available to them. This is basically a checkmate position right now for Dignitas. They are forced into a level 16 versus level 20 talent fight.
Yeah, they have no choice. The Punisher is in the lane that is completely exposed. And even if they distract it, it's going to be running onto that mid lane, which is also one of their only remaining keeps. They have to contest this. And if they do, they're going to be in a position that they really can't win.
It's a loss-loss situation for them right now. They have to risk it. They have to go in. They have to try and snipe maybe Crossbay in the back. Go for those abilities. They have the cooldowns already now that Apocalypse is off cooler. Again, the hook. Alex, it's just insane. He sees it coming. He hits that hook again. They are trying to go for Grand Paquette, but once again, it's the 20 talents, and we're having once more Alex trying to go in. Where's that hook? Doesn't hit it. Still on cooldown, but Dignitas is looking for an opening.
Yeah, Bakery is the one who gets hooked in this time. He's able to dash out. Zarbany with the leapers in the backline. In comes the Apocalypse. They get Felstead. The shield not enough. They're turning onto Eternal the more. Caught JPL for a second, but now they're trying to focus down Alex. The revenge will be sweet, but Alex is surviving thanks to Tassadar. Zarbany dropping too low. Bakery and Whoopi desperately trying to fight Eternal. Crosby now the target. They're able to get a kill, but in comes the hook of the Tyrande, and she is able to survive thanks to the palm. And there is the stun onto Zarbany. He is still surviving this though.
Zarbany is still getting out of their Bakery at the same time. He's trying to dash away, but he's already down. And Zarbany again being attacked, yet this time he doesn't survive. It's a double kill, a 2-for-1. The hook again against JPL, the hook magnet. He's being eliminated. What a fight. Unbelievable. From the right to the left to the right. The stun actually hits. Whoopi is running the force wall, and the end of Carrigan. Level 20 versus 18. 18 kills against 4. NaVi, what a game. They get the Punisher, and they can go down to the bot lane to finish what they started. Unbelievable series of fights.
Dignitas so close to actually winning that fight, but it's just too much tankiness coming in from NaVi, who are now moving onto the core. Tyrande, the last remaining hero. She's gonna stun to try and delay. Karazin will be back in 5 seconds, but it's not going to be enough. The Punisher will arrive soon as well. Maida going to arrive soon as well. And that is, in fact, incredible. And we're going to see NaVi move on to the semi-finals. Well, to try to delay it, but it's not enough.
They are going to face Team Liquid next, and it is going to be beautiful. What a series here. What a game to finish things off. Great play. NaVi with a 2-1 victory. GG, well played, and congratulations. Okay, everybody, that's it for the day. We had some really fun games here, and I hope that you enjoyed them and also the commentary. Of course, we're going to have more Heroes of the Storm action on the channel in the near future. So if you enjoy the esports scene, Heroes of the Storm, make sure that you hit that subscribe button on KhaldorTV and also like the video if you haven't done that yet already. There's going to be more European games. We're going to have more North American matches as well. And of course, if you're interested in the Chinese Heroes of the Storm esports scene, I'm going to have more games on the channel as well in the near future as those leagues start again. At the same time, though, if you have friends that are also interested in esports and in Heroes of the Storm, make sure that you forward the channel to them and share it with them. It was a pleasure casting for you today, guys. I hope that you enjoyed, as I already mentioned, and I hope to see you next time for more Heroes of the Storm action here on KhaldorTV. See you guys soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.